Hello everyone, welcome to Smart Investing. This is the time for the market update. Thanks so much for watching this video. So today we are going to go through what the market has been today. And the market has been very, very good, It continues to recover. You see, if you followed me during the hardest time of this crash, then now you must feel much better. We already almost retraced back 50% of the drop. Now we are more or less minus 10, 12%. Remember a few weeks ago, we were minus 20 something. You see why you shouldn't have a panic sell? And it's very likely it will replunge to this level, Now we are going through the earnings, and the earnings are doing really, really well. And the earnings is driving the market. And tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, we're going to have very important earnings like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta. And these earnings will be fantastic. I mean, earnings today of SoFi has been good. We're going to check it. Then we're going to check about what the expectation for tomorrow on Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. And Microsoft and Meta, because they are reporting tomorrow. Apple and Amazon is the day after tomorrow. So basically, we're going to check what the expectation of the market. So let's get straight into it. All right, QQQ. Let's have a look at QQQ. Plus 0.64. And you can see the sharp rebound we have from the bottom. You see the bottom was around 400. Now we are already almost 480. We're going to probably go easily to 490. So that's a jump from the bottom of 18%, close to 20% rebound in just a matter of few days, You see, if you hold on through the volatility, if you hold on through the fear, you will recover, And then if you have to actually DCA or top up some investment or make new investment when the VIX was at the highest, I told you when the VIX is at the highest, the market bottom. That's historically a fact. Never get wrong. Since the dot-com crash, only the dot-com crash, that was not true. But the dot-com crash was extremely different for what happened this time. So, you have to really deserve the market return. And why you deserve the market return is to hold very firm onto your investment. Don't panic sell. If you panic sell, you lose. You see, if you did panic sell during the worst of the VIX, you already lost 20% upside opportunity from what you sold just a few days ago. You see? And I'm happy that you haven't sold, you followed me, and you follow my advice and my experience. I've been through many of the crashes. Many of the crashes. And this is not a market that deserves to crash close to 25% for QQQ, close to 32% for Max 7. Not at all. Okay, now let's go to SPY, same thing, 0.60%. Easily the rebound was 15%, of course, less than QQQ, but also dropped less than QQQ, so that's normal, But still, ok mon amour, c'est bien. Papa travaille, chaud, Ok mon amour. So TLT increased slightly, so it actually means the market anticipates a rate cut, TLT increased from the bottom about 6%, That's a huge move for bonds, And the 20 years is at 466. The VIX, that's probably the good news as well. The VIX continue to go down. Slowly but surely continue to go down. And that's a good sign, very, very good sign that we are probably out of the wood for this crash. And then we're going to go slowly recover what we've lost over the last few months. And then the market slowly will continue, Will continue. I mean, tomorrow we have big earnings, Meta and Microsoft. That will really set the tone. And then after the day after tomorrow, we get Amazon, we get Amazon, and we get Apple. I tell you, the market will move from these earnings, And they will follow very closely the guidance. And this is a good news. I actually feel very good about this, Then you get obviously Max 7 today again, 0.58. Rebound from the low, close to 20%. Imagine 20%. You invested at the worst. You topped up, you DCA. Now you made 20% of that part of the investment, which what I did. I doubled my Max 7 funds right when the VIX was at the highest. So I DCA'd, reduced my average cost, and now I'm riding faster the upside. That's what you should do. And this is actually this is history, History teaches us what is happening, and is exactly what happened. So you need to trust the process. I know when you fear, is at the maximum, you very question yourself, you know. But fear has never been a good guide for investment or anything else, you know. Fear makes you make stupid things. So today, obviously, we had SoFi earnings. SoFi actually they had very good earnings, reported 0.06, estimate 0.033. Mon amour, that's my daughter, you know. She likes me to, well, she likes to disturb me when I'm doing my video, but never mind, you know, that's life. 84 earnings surprise, earning per share surprise 84%. On the top sales, 4% increase. I mean, SoFi, first of all, increased by a lot to 14.53, just retrace all it back. Retrace all back. Because still the valuation of SoFi is extremely high, you know. But if you invest at the low, you're already 50% up, you know. 50% up, 50% up. Not 10, 12, 10, 50% up from the bottom. You see why you should invest and don't panic sell. When everybody's panic selling, you buying at a huge discount and you get rewarded very, very fast. So let's have a look at the fundamental of SoFi. You can see earnings from Q4 23 started to be positive. And then slowly but surely increased, you know, continually increased. But actually it's much less than Q4 24 because Q4 24 we had 0.29. But still from last year, same period, we had an increase of 84%. Q4 we had 700%. Q3 22%. Q2 24 100%. This company is really doing really well. You see the revenue increasing, always increasing and steadily increasing. I mean, you can look annual, you see 1 billion, 1 billion 5, 2 billion, 2 billion 6, forecasted to be 3 billion in 2025, and then almost 4 billions 2026, and almost 4.4 billions in 2027. SoFi definitely is a very good company to have in your radar and into your portfolio. You can see also earnings by source of income. You see lending increased a lot. Financial services also. Technology platform, steady, you know, not a huge increase. But when you're lending, financial services, quite a good increase, you know. But overall revenue increased a lot from 2017 to 2024. I mean, the chart speaks for itself, you know. There's no discussion about it, you know. Of course, all of the revenue of SoFi is in the US, so all this talk about tariff, all this talk about the uncertainty of the dollar, everything is not for SoFi, you know. SoFi is not exporting anything or importing anything. It's just financial services in the US. Having said that, you can see the balance sheet, you know. Balance sheet, very good, you know. Total assets always increasing. Now 36.25 billion, total liability 29 billion. So you have a positive equity of 6.5 billion, increasing from 2021 of 4.7 billion. So you see, everything is doing well for SoFi, you know. Year-over-year basis, total equity increase, total asset increase, total liability increase, but I mean, still well below the total asset, which is very healthy for the bank. And in terms of price to sales, it's going down a lot. I mean, back in 2022 was 6, now it's 4. Price to earning, of course, is still very high, you know, 34, but that's actually trailing earnings. So it's very difficult to estimate, but SoFi is having a very good result. Let's see what the market is valuating SoFi. I go to Simply Wall Street. Simply Wall Street, SoFi. You see? The fair value of SoFi, if you look at discounted cash flow with the usual technique of discounted cash flow, you would get a fair value of $4. No, it's around 13 something dollar, you know. So it's fairly overvalued from the standard valuation method, you know. But again, sometimes technology company like Palantir, SoFi, Tesla, they don't follow a pure basic fundamental analysis of discounted cash flow, you know. If you do discounted cash flow for a lot of technology company, you would say they are all overvalued all the time. But for technology, sometimes when the earnings appear in the balance sheet, it's already too late. Like NVIDIA, you know, NVIDIA suddenly, bang, you see all the earnings and then NVIDIA, whoops, rocket like crazy, you know. But at some point, everybody was saying, yeah, overvalued, and suddenly, bang, the earning explodes and everything is not anymore, and the value is overvalued. It's undervalued, you know. Anyway, that's for SoFi. So if you want to start to invest in SoFi, maybe it's a good time to nimble into the stocks. You can actually sell puts to get a better price on SoFi. So, for example, if I see the price of SoFi right now, that's probably what I will do, you know. SoFi now, the price is at 13. You can see the 200 moving average is around 12. Then it's a good entry point to buy SoFi. So you can sell a put at 12 over 1 month and just cash the premium. And if you get triggered, then you buy it at 12, you know. It's a very good technique if you want to make cash, but still want to hold the stock. And then you get it cheaper if you get triggered, you know. So what we're going to say for the earnings of tomorrow, we get obviously Meta. Meta is reporting tomorrow. The estimate is $5.23. Estimate for revenue 41 billion. So again, if you look at the revenue of the Meta, you see, is always increasing and increasing very much fast, you know. Very, very, very much fast, you know. The fundamental of Meta from advertising revenue and apps, just amazing, you know. By country also quite diversified geographically. You look at cash flow, free cash flow positive, you know. Always very positive free cash flow, you know. Just very rarely you get a negative cash flow, you know. Free cash flow always positive. Of course, you have some variation, but usually it's up. Year over year is always up. Just only 2 years you get a negative growth of free cash flow, but the free cash flow is still positive, you know. 2018, of course, that was the first Trump tariff. And if you see 2022 is when actually the stock collapsed, went down to $100 per share. Now look at this, it's at $500 per share, you know. Again, when you buy when everybody is selling, and you know the fundamental of the company is very, very strong, then you should buy and not sell, you know. Look, from 2022 2023, just double the free cash flow, you know. So that's another example of a very strong company. Meta definitely will beat estimate, you know. When you see reported estimates for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the last 8 quarters they beat estimate. So what do you want? The same for revenue. They beat estimate for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quarter. Do you see? Very unlikely they don't get the $5.23. Very unlikely they don't beat. They're doing really, really well. Microsoft, you get earnings also tomorrow. Revenue also increasing steadily year over year over year over year. Microsoft is an aristocrat, you know. How can you see this type of company collapsing? And then when I see this type of company crashing for nothing, just for tariff reasons, I mean, look at this company, you know. The earnings keep going and going and going, and this company exists since decades, you know. It's a cash flow machine. Cash flow machine, you know. Cash flow, always positive. Always, you know. Annual cash flow for 74 billion in 2024. 74 billion with a big B. When I see that and I say people are panicking selling this type of company, this is just nuts. And the valuation is not very high, you know. Valuation for this company on the trading 31, but on the forward basis maybe on 25, you know. Let's see what the fundamental analysis for Microsoft is. Then Meta aussi. Valuation. You see, undervalued. From a fundamental analysis standpoint, it's undervalued. Fair value 440. Current price 391. Even technically, we've never seen really since January 2024, so more than a year ago, we never seen actually Microsoft share price go below 394 or 400. Now you see how quickly it went to 344, how quickly it went back to the 400 marks. 400 marks is a very important level for Microsoft. It's very, very strong support, never went down, never went lower than this for more than a year. I mean, this type of company is as solid as it gets with AI, with automation. Microsoft, oh, can you see this company not being again a successful company for a long time? Of course, not going to grow by 100% every single year like some of the companies, but if you want safe and still double-digit growth, this is what you need to go for. Analyst rating, 1 year price target, 482 on average. That's an increase of 22% over the 1 year period, you know. Minimum is 415. You see, even the minimum analyst estimate for Microsoft is above the current share price. What can I say, you know? Let's look at Meta valuation on Simply. Undervalued. You see, Meta is a very big cash flow machine, Meta, you know. The economic mode, the economies of scales, they are just dominant in everything they do on social media, you know. Fair value, $900. Current price, $500. You almost double your price if it goes to fair value. Do you know? P/E ratio 22. 22 for such a very, very strong company, you know. Oh, the valuation is still very, very good, you know. Look at this compared to Alphabet. Only Alphabet is cheaper on a PE basis, 17.6. Otherwise, Microsoft 31, Apple 32, Netflix 51. I mean, and if you look at the forward PE, forward PE the same, 22. Very, very low for such a very high quality company like Meta, you know. So that's very good news for today, and tomorrow we are very excited to get the earnings of Meta and Microsoft. So the market should be moving from tomorrow also. Economic calendar, we had few economic data coming today. JOLT opening 7.1 million, estimate 7.5, still very good. JOLT job quits 3.3 million, estimate, we had no estimate, but previous was 3.25. We don't see any major shift in the job market, you know. Tomorrow we will have better economic data coming, like GDP growth rate, PCE, core PCE. And then Thursday, of course, we get the usual job numbers, ISI manufacturing. And on Friday, we get a usual manufacturing payroll, non-farm payroll, participation rate, unemployment rate. I mean, all these very important data for the economy, but I think these data will not drive the market. The earnings will drive the market. And so far, the earning has been very good, you know. Average earning growth for 40% of the company is close to 17%. Or do you want to have a recession and a market crash with an average earning growth of companies that have reported already of 17%? That's not possible, you know. Fundamentals are too strong to get crushed like this, you know. And the market will recover. No doubt about this. Okay, on the headline, stock rise in final hours of Wall Street. Nothing really about tariff or the US dollar. Stock bull fuel best winning run since March 2022. You see, we go from extra bearish now to bullish. The narrative in the stock market changed very fast. Very, very, very fast. So if you play this game in and out, in and out, in and out, I'm going to sell because I'm going to go back in, you're going to lose this game. That's for sure, 100%.
Papa,
Oui, mon amour.
moi je vais être.
Tu veux quoi?
Je suis fatiguée.
Tu es fatigué?
Je suis fatiguée. C'est quoi ça me fait?
T'as un peu faim?
Non, en fait, ça me fait caca tout le monde.
T'as fait caca dans ton linge? Attends, je vais te changer. D'accord? Comment t'as fait caca dans ton linge? T'avais pas envie d'aller aux toilettes? Ah oui, ça sent la caca. Attends, je vais le faire. Je finis la vidéo puis je le fais,
C'est
d'accord?
pas fait exprès.
Mais non, c'est rien, c'est un linge, mon amour. Mais tu pouvais aller aux toilettes, t'es une grande fille maintenant. Ok, in terms of headlines, nothing really, nothing negative suddenly, you know? Nothing negative, you know? If you follow the technology company, you hear the IMS already increased by 23%, which is quite a lot. IMS is a healthcare services technology company, you know. I think I will talk to you a bit more about this company, IMS. It's very good. I sold some put options on IMS. Now the stock is up 23%. I just cashed all the premium I sold the put option on these stocks, you know. I sold for 27 what it was on the 200 moving average. And then look, from 27 go 35. Of course, the value of the put just went down and collapsing. So, to conclude, we had a very good day. Tomorrow we had a very important day for the earnings. And I believe this week will be great and there will be a big catalyst for the market to recover. Again, congratulations for those who have not panic sold and those who have not only not panic sell, but also DCA during the max VIX, the max pain of the VIX. Congratulations to you all. It's not over. We are not fully recovered from the drop. Now we are 10% from all-time high, but we'll come. We'll come. All this talk about recession, all this talk about whatever, this is all talk at the moment. Don't get caught by the fear and the narrative. Some people want to scare you to buy your shares cheaper. That's also a game they are playing. They manipulate you and they want to trick you from your shares. Especially some of the best companies in the world. They want them cheap, you know. They don't want you to run and to see the positive. Anyway, thanks so much. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye.